And good morning, Metal Family. Good to see you today. Thank you so much for joining me. We got a great show today. I hope that you are doing well in the new year. It's just a few days into the new year. We're excited for 2024. This will be great. So check in with me. Check in. Let me see that you're here. Tell me where you're from. I know there are people joining us from all over the world today. I'm excited for that. In just a little bit, I'll have my good friend and cohort, Todd Bo, will be here with us. We want to talk about some of the future with Sanctuary, with the metal movement. We want to talk about some good things that are going on. Good morning to Kara. Good to see you this morning, good friend. And folks, check with us. Say hello. Let us know where you're from. Love to see that too. Jamie is here this morning. Good to you. Good to see you today. Tracy Ferry, my good friend. Good to see you, my friend. Awesome guy. Good friend of the ministry. James is here this morning from San Antonio. Great place. Love San Antonio. Appreciate you joining us today. And Pat Nobody is here from Nobody Special, my good friend Pat. And good morning to you, my friend. Good to see you as well. Mark Wells from Elmira, Texas is here. And good to see you also, tuning in from Elmira. There you go. Well, folks, check in with us. Let us know you're here. Our good friend Garrick is here. You know, I feel like the old romper room. Did you ever see that? Some of you that are older? It would be at the beginning. She would say, "I see Tracy, I see Garrett, I see John, I see Todd, I see," and then every once in a while she would say Bob or Robert, and I'd go, "She saw me." TV show. That was awesome. David is here. Good morning to you, David. Folks, sign in. Let us know where you're from today. Beautiful day here in Nashville. It's a little chilly, just the way I like it. I love this time of the year when it's a little chilly, just a little bit on the nippy side. That's the best thing for me. I love it. Brian, good friend, is here today. He says, Good morning and Happy New Year. You know, it's amazing that it's already 2024. Incredible, isn't it? And the time flies by so quickly. And David, of course, is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and good friends in Milwaukee. Amy, of course, from Washington State. And we've got all of our good friends here today. Good to have you joining us. And here's AV. He says, how are you doing? Your channel was one of the most streamed on my Twitch recap in 2023. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that. And we'll be doing a lot more with Twitch this year, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we go. But exciting stuff ahead. And Ernie is here from Burns Flat, Oklahoma. Good to have you here too, Ernie. Awesome. So my good friend John is producing the show. John, do you want to come on for just a minute? Good morning to Tony from Texas. Tony from Texas. And anyway, John Cassandra, there he is. Good morning, John.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great. You doing well?
Doing quite well. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Happy New Year's to you, too. So, John, it's tough to fathom that we're already at 2024.
Well, you know, for a lot of people, it's bittersweet. For a lot of people, it's a joyous thing. And it's a time for new beginnings, you know.
Absolutely. Well, time really flies. And it's John, you and I have been friends for how many years now?
Oh, gosh. It's
25 at least.
We really connected in 93 from a distance. We connected in 2000.
It's been
pretty close ever since 2000.
John was involved in the original Intense Radio that we're going to do again at some point. We're working on some ideas, and that's kind of cool. We have Nina here from Metro Detroit.
And in Metro Detroit, I used to live in Dearborn Heights, Bedford area. South Detroit, so familiar with Detroit.
Well, and Detroit is where a whole lot of music stuff.
Motor City, USA.
Yes, a lot of stuff there. Good morning from William in Akron, Ohio. John, one of the cool things about doing the show is that we literally have people from all over the world that join us, some really great friends. And I love seeing them on the screen. Edward from Vancouver, Washington. And, you know, we do this at 10 a.m. On Eastern time because it's a time that is fairly good for everybody internationally, all the way from Australia to Europe to India to wherever, and we have good friends everywhere. So it's kind of a time frame that pretty much hits everybody. Gregory is here from Kentucky, and John, you're in Kentucky right now.
Yeah, about 40 minutes south of Louisville. I know we don't promote alcohol, but I'm in the bourbon capital of the world, Bardstown, Kentucky. So about 40 minutes south of Louisville. So
yes. And Jeff is here also from Prescott and celebrating the new year from Southern California. And Nate is here from Toronto, our good friend to the north. Nate, good to have you here as well. Emma, my good friend from Montana, mother of Mangled Carpenter, the band. And she's been a good friend for a whole lot of years. Good to see you, Emma, as well. And a great band just put out a new album. Have you heard it, John?
I have heard it. And actually good friends with, and you as well, Seth Latoya.
Yes, good.
Yeah, and so it's really great to see God's blessing him and taking those talents and using them. And so he's full steam ahead, Broken Curfew Records.
Yes.
As well. And so I know 2024 is going to be a good year for him. Shout out to him. Hopefully we
it is.
Pop in this morning. But yeah, man, 24 is off to a great start.
Yes. Well, we've got Diego from Argentina and many other folks that are joining us. Hayden Lake, Idaho. We have Nicole. Hayden Lake. Yeah, that's where Hayden, our artist, ought to live, huh? Hayden from Hayden Lake. You could just say the lake is named after me. That would be a good part.
That's an honor.
Yes. Well, we have our good friend Todd joining us in a little bit. Todd Bo, Pastor Todd Bo, one of the directors of Sanctuary. We're excited to have him here. And John, one of the things that I'm really thankful in this new year are all of the good people that we have with Sanctuary that have been with us for a long time, like you.
Absolutely. And we got new folks that are joining us as well that are just finding out about Sanctuary.
Yes.
And was scrolling through socials this morning and seeing Sanctuary popping up on multiple feeds. And so we got a lot of newbies that are coming into the Sanctuary as well. So,
John, I'm excited to talk about social media today, too, in just a little bit, because we've got a lot of plans for social media and not only continuing what we're doing, but continuing better, a little sharper, a little more in tune. I'm actually going to be hooking up a microphone here soon that John gave me to use, and we're going to get a little more professional in some of our stuff. And John, this is also the year that we'll be going live with our gathering in the storehouse this year.
That'd be phenomenal. If you've not experienced the gathering, folks, you guys are missing out. And 2024 is going to be reformatted. Pastor Bob laid out a format change. Back in October, we're going to be going twice a month with the gatherings. I believe we're still on par for that. And Sunday mornings are going to be regular weekly. So if you don't have a chip home, definitely come out and be a part of that.
Let's advertise this weekend if we can, real quick.
Absolutely.
This weekend, the theme is, what is that in your hands? And we're going to be talking about what has God given you to take into the new year, and what are you doing with that? January 6th and 7th, Saturday and Sunday, this weekend. And we start at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and then again at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. And John, we have the best music, Jim Liberty and the worship team. And you never know who's going to be in the worship team this week. I think we have members of Deliverance and Barren Cross and Vengeance, and we could go on with just people that are in the worship team. But we really have a good time with music. The greatest thing, John, for this year is that our music is getting a little more of an edge to it, and we're going to put together a little more professional, if I can say the word professional and worship band in the same sentence, but we want to go out and do a lot more worship and bring an edge to it, a metal edge to it, because after all, that's kind of where we're at. So
it's great when you got guys like Glenn Caruso, who we know from Vengeance, George Ochoa, Deliverance, Worldview, Recon, Jim Liberty leading. I mean, phenomenal worship leader. And some really icon names, and it's amazing to see them. A lot of times we know them within the context of the bands that they were a part of. But it's really amazing to see them in the confines of the worship realm. Really get a chance to connect on their hearts.
Yes. And there's so many that have gotten into worship, some of the older bands that are now doing worship, and I love that part. Our good friend Kirk Martin is here from Detroit. He says Rock City, and it is Rock City. Kirk is a good friend, has been for a long time. Love that guy. And phenomenal testimony of being a man filled with hate, and in one of a little meaner band, and one that was very popular, and we won't go into that, but God got a hold of him and softened his heart, and he's a great guy. And so Beanie Guy is here. That's an interesting title, isn't it? From Holland, Michigan.
Pastor Bob, if I may, I want to encourage everybody. We're already at 55 viewers right now. If you're watching right now, share this out on your social media and invite others to come and join us.
Yes.
If we can hit the 100 mark, I would be really happy for the first PBL of 2024. So
Yes.
Definitely share it. Put it out on your social media. Let everybody know that we're live this morning.
And John, it's a little frustrating because we used to go live and 1,000 people would join us immediately. And these days we are lost in the algorithms and can't seem to get back in. They're just not in our favor anymore on Facebook, on YouTube. And so we really rely on people telling each other that we're live. And then a lot of people, of course, watching it later in the day because they didn't realize that we were live. So
yeah, and you guys that are watching are really an arm extended for Sanctuary. And so my challenge to you guys is think of 2 or 3 people right now that you feel that need to be in this, and send them a message. Send them a message on Messenger, or send them a text message.
yes.
Send them the link so they could pop in and join us. We're all part of the body. You always hear about 20% of the people doing 80% of the work. And,
Yes.
But this is really the saying with Sanctuary: we are metal, we are family. And part of family business is helping come along and bringing people into the community. So we thank you guys in advance for that.
So speaking of things, I have my cool Headbangers Brew mug here. And John, we have the best winter blend right now.
Absolutely.
You've probably got a slide up there. There it is. And it's called Brewed Awakening. Smooth coffee with cinnamon, graham, and nut flavor. It is so good. I can attest to that. I'm drinking it right now. And just the right thing for this time of year when it's getting a little chilly, and it's got that, well, it almost, if anything tastes like holidays, this does. It's got that taste to it, that winter taste to it. And folks, as you know, all of our coffees, and we have 9 of them now, and we have another very exciting announcement from Todd when he joins us about the coffee going forward. Something new we're adding, and we're excited to tell you about it. But folks, if you're a coffee drinker, this coffee helps to really feed a whole lot of people, not just homeless, but marginalized people that are coming into halfway houses. We're dealing a lot with trafficked people, women and children that are coming out of child trafficking and women being trafficked, and we're giving to halfway houses and besides people on the street. So when you purchase the coffee, it's not to make anybody rich. It's for that reason, and that reason alone. Good morning from Barry. Good to see you. It's very, very good to see you. And
I see what you did there.
That's yeah,
smart.
It's good friend of the ministry. We love him a lot, and it's good to have you here, Barry. Andy is here from I don't know where. He's not telling us.
That's my friend from Ohio. He's actually in Ohio.
Okay, well, awesome. And we're about to be in Ohio before too long. We'll be talking about the Immortal Fest and some exciting news about Sanctuary and Immortal Fest coming up today as well. So we'll be chatting about that. Becky is here.
My good friend Becky Porter up in Tennessee. Not too far from you, actually.
Good, Becky, and thank you for sharing it. Chris Keene is here, watching from Azusa, California. Chris is a professor, actually, at Azusa Pacific College.
Almost
he's the one that say it again, John.
That was one of the first colleges I was looking at. I remember Campus Life magazine, if you remember back in the day. I remember seeing.
Oh yeah, right. Chris did My Hand for the cover of the Vengeance album. He's phenomenal with theater arts and all of that. So that's what he teaches. And been involved with Sanctuary for decades now. We love him a lot, he and Monday. But welcome, folks. We're happy that you're here. And we have a lot of special guests coming up in the future, John. We've got a few bands that we want to introduce to you. Will be interesting. I hope will be interesting. We'll be interviewing them live as well, and some good ones coming up. We want to talk a lot more about Immortal Fest as we get closer to it, and interview some of the people that are involved in the production of Immortal Fest. And we'll be doing that. We've also got social concerns coming up. And my good friend, Chief James Hambrick, will be joining us on this show as well. As you know, James and I do a podcast called The Odd Couple, because we're the oddest friends. He is a police chief. I'm definitely not. He's black and I'm not. He's bald and I'm not. But we're very close friends, and he's has been the police chief in our city here that we're in for a few decades. Just retired, and so he'll have a little more time to spend with us too. Want to talk about some social concerns and talk about some things that that may be on your heart as well. So. That's it. So is our friend Todd here yet?
He is, but I got one question to ask you in terms of that. So if you were the mayor of your town, or you were the head of the sheriff's department, what would be one rule that you would implement in your community?
Wow.
Sheriff Bob.
Yeah.
Or Mayor Bob.
And we ought to ask that question to James when he comes on with us, because he really turned the whole police department around and made it a service to people instead of people being afraid of them. And we want to talk about, the dynamics of serving. And I think that's a great idea, John. I like that.
Absolutely. I just wonder what a community would look like with you being the mayor, mandatory coffee.
Mayor. Oh, yeah. We'd be in trouble. We'd be in trouble. Had coffee with our mayor just a couple of weeks ago of the city that I live in, and great guy, really great guy, young guy, maybe 35, something like that. And I love his vision. I love, how he kind of puts everything together, and his focus is spiritual and his focus is serving as well, to help people to be the best they can be and the community to be strong. I like that. And I would just follow what these guys are doing, and they're doing a better job than I would. Well, I want to introduce the illustrious, industrious Todd Bo. There he is. And your sound is not on, Todd. So you need to turn on some sound. Maybe John has you muted. Do you think? Say something. Let's see if we can hear you. No, you're muted. He's a mute. So see if you're muted on your device there, or if John has muted you, or if you just need to check in again. It's almost enough just to look at his face. He's a cool guy. He's got that persona, he's got that aura around him. You can kind of, if you look closely, you'll see the Shekinah glory around him and the aura that he has. And you see, I can say all kinds of things about him and he can't talk back.
This is funny seeing his expression,
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know.
So, John, what does Todd need to do to fix his sound?
I would say probably restart his computer and pop back in and join us.
Sounds great. So you go for it, and John and I will carry things until you get back. So, absolutely. John, what kind of a weather are you having there in Kentucky today?
We're nice and chill. I like it cool and crispy.
Yes.
Not blistery cold, but it's been refreshing. I haven't had quite the snow that I've been hoping for just yet, but it's nice to, throw a heavier jacket on and throw my snow cap on, and I'll be able to enjoy the cool of the evening. And so evenings are when I get out, especially on the weekends. And so I do think Todd is back with us. Let's go ahead and pull him in. Todd, talk to us.
I'm just kidding. Can you hear me now?
Real comedian type.
You're a goober, Todd.
So that means you can hear me.
Yeah.
I think we got you loud and clear now.
Okay. Well, good morning, Mayor Beeman.
Yeah, there you go. Can you imagine the destruction of our town if I would be the mayor? Oh my gosh. Todd knows what it's like to work with me, and he knows I'm probably not real good mayor.
It would be fun to watch.
Real. That means a good thing.
I can't imagine what kind of seedy ideas you would have that you would come up with. I've got this idea. Oh no.
And we'd be all over the thing, wouldn't we?
Yes.
One of the things that I notice about people that run the city, and I know a lot of them here, and a couple of weeks ago I actually even spoke to the Christian Businessmen's Association here, and so I know a lot of the Christian people that are running our city. And the city that I live in here is largely Christian. I mean, from the police force to the fire department to the mayor to the city manager to people that kind of have high profile, very much Christian people, which I love. Yeah. And it's interesting to see how that attitude, that frame of mind, that foundation really changes the way people feel and interact with each other. So when you're expecting for a policeman, for instance, to maybe pull you over and be a little gruff with you, it's cool to see that they're there to serve you, and they arrest someone and say, what's going wrong in your life? What brought you to this place where you felt like you needed to do this, and how can we help? And that's what they do. And it's a different way, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I was actually at a restaurant the other day, Slim Chickens there in Mount Juliet, and there was an officer in front of me, in Mount Juliet PD. And so I asked him, I said, so how about the old chief? He turned around and smiled. He says, do you know him? And I said, oh, yeah. So it was fun. He had a lot of good things to say about Chief James and the new one coming in, the new chief coming in. So he was
great guy.
Very positive. Yeah, very positive. So they got a lot of good things going on there.
Yes.
But you as mayor would be great.
I absolutely know that's not true.
Be fun to watch.
What's my name again?
Yeah. So did I miss anything fun and exciting?
Exactly. The biggest thing, Todd, is that if I became the mayor, there's a good chance I'd have to cut my hair. And can you imagine what that would look like?
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever seen you with short hair.
No, you never have.
I've known you for 40 years, and no, you've never. The shortest hair you've ever had, I think, was when it was out to here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't ever remember you with short hair. I saw you a picture of you when you were younger with short hair.
Yeah.
And it didn't even really look like you. It looked more like Tim.
I know.
You and Tim had.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. You and Tim look a lot alike when you were younger.
Yes.
Not so much anymore. He needs to grow his hair out, but yeah, you guys looked a lot alike.
Yeah, but we get a little older and we look a whole lot less alike today.
Yeah.
And but his hair was longer than mine is, back in the day too. So So anyway, Todd, we've got some great things happening with Sanctuary. I thought maybe you and I could spend a little bit of time just talking about some of them and kind of filling people in on where we're going and some things that we have planned for the future. And let's start out with a big announcement. We have a big announcement for these two blends, melodic and hardcore. And one of these blends is very dark, and the other is less dark. It's like a medium blend. And we have them in decaf, and we have them in ground. And what else?
We are going to be picking this up probably in about a week. It will be in whole bean. Both of those will be in whole bean, so people can grind it up.
Yes. So, Todd, there are a lot of people that are really into it. Our friend Greg Moore, by the way,
Yeah,
does a on Instagram. He does something with coffee almost every day.
yeah.
And Greg and his wife met at Sanctuary. I married them. His brother is Mark, the singer for Christopher. Some people know that band. But Greg is a coffee nut. Well,
He
let's call
is.
him a coffee aficionado, but
Yes,
he
he
knows
is.
coffee. And so I saw him not too long ago, and he said, "So when are you getting whole bean?" Because he's the guy that if you're going to make coffee, you got to start from the ground up, and
Yeah,
you got to do that. Timothy
yeah.
here is with us today from Switzerland, one of my good friends there. And folks joining us from all over the world. If you're joining us, folks, don't forget to sign in. Let us know where you're from. Todd, I love this part of it. I love it when we can
Yeah.
speak to the whole metal family, and there they are, which
It's
is
fun. It's fun on our side to be able to see that and see all the messages and all the hellos and the
yes,
memories on there.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
the
It's very
coolest.
cool.
So, but anyway, Greg Moore and all of you that are into coffee, the newest Headbangers Brew, of course, is that. And our winter blend, Todd, is so good, isn't it?
It is good. It is good. And the reason why I picked up whole bean while went in that direction,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think in their minds that it's fresh. You get a whole bean and it's fresh and it comes out and it's like it's going to be really smooth and everything, and it is. But so something that I do with the ordering on our coffee is I don't order it a lot in advance. Now it caught up to me this last time because I didn't know that our roaster was going to have his team. There were a number of people on his team that went on vacation during Christmas. So that was a little bit of a caught me off guard there. So I got behind on orders because there was a little bit of a time lag on there. But the coffee that we get in, I keep it rotated very quickly. So we get orders in and it goes out pretty fast. So you get your grounds within probably 2 weeks of it being uh, being made, created. So, and it takes about a week and a half to make the flavored coffee because it's got to sit for a while in the flavor and get to that point that makes it so good. So, but the beans, I think that makes a good sense on the hardcore and the melodic. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited about it.
And man, yeah, it's so good. And again, so fresh, brewed right here, or manufactured right here, and
Yeah,
roasted right here in Tennessee, in Coffee County, on Coffee Street in Tennessee. That's true.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
it's definitely good stuff. And we're excited. The company that we work with is a Christian company, and
yeah,
also working with homeless, and
yeah,
we love
yeah,
that part.
yeah. Yeah, so good stuff. Yeah, the coffee is coming around nicely and it's selling huge right now. And hardcore is one of our big sellers. Of course, Joe Mama is a big seller,
Yes.
and the newest one is huge. Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's been
yeah,
great. And Todd, this really helps us to help others, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. Yeah, the finances on this goes a long way. We
Yeah.
make about Sanctuary makes about $2.70 per item. So K cups that go out, we make about 270, and the regular ground we make about $2.70. So that's the margin profit on there that
Yeah.
goes into the ministry. So in
So
case
that's
people are wondering.
to order 5 pounds at a time, isn't it?
Yes, it's a good idea. Order 5 pounds. Yeah, and that's the other thing. We've got everything can come in 5 pounds.
Yeah.
It takes longer to get that because that's a made to order package. We don't house those at all. They're too expensive for us to do that. But it is made to orders, and it takes a couple weeks to get that in. So,
but it's a lot
it's
cheaper in the long run, isn't it, to order 5 pounds at a time?
Yeah.
And the 5-pound bags are huge, and
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So, folks, if you haven't tried the coffee, we won't labor this, but love to have you try it. Darren Anderson, he says, I only do whole beans. Now, see, there's another one. My coffee maker grinds the beans and then makes the coffee. I travel to tons of coffee houses all over the country and love your coffee. That's great. And
that is great.
Love the whole bean then really well. Todd, when we first started, I told you that I didn't think that the heavy metal crowd would like flavored coffee. I said it might just be a little foofy, a little too foofy for them. And so my suggestion, and I think when we started, I personally added this one. This is one of our older mugs, actually. And I added holy cacao with actual cacao beans. And I thought, well, people probably would like that. But I don't know about all these different flavorings in the coffee. And Todd says, oh, I think it'll sell. And I said, all right, but let's see.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a tug of war there, but I think that when we started the Holy Cacao, it made sense because we'd been doing that with our other roaster. The reason why we switched wasn't because the other roaster was a challenge or bad or anything. It's because they were based out of Florida, and the shipping cost to get it into Tennessee and then to turn around and sell it, it didn't make any sense. We were actually, Sanctuary was losing money every time we would turn around and sell the coffee. We lost probably anywhere from 50 cents to $1 on those.
Yeah.
But because we have a local roaster here, I go and pick it up, so we don't pay any shipping charge.
Yeah.
So that helps us out, and the coffee is really good. So it's done well. Done well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Todd, we've got a big weekend coming up. Our friend Steve Casto is on
Steve
right now too. Steve's been with us for decades as well, part of the Sanctuary staff here, and we love the guy. Cliff is here from Kansas, outside of Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come.
You skipped Tracy Ferry.
Hey,
you got it.
Tracy Ferry. You saw this here. There he is.
Yes.
In Ohio.
Great guy. Guy. Yep.
And pastor of discipleship at First Baptist Church now. And Tracy played with Stryper at one point, played bass with Stryper, with Boston, the band Boston, and used to be a Sanctuary elder at one point. So proud of him. He's pastorized now and pastoring in the church, and that's very cool. Yeah. So this weekend, Todd, we've got a good time coming up. If you are in the Nashville area, or you're able to drive to the Nashville area or fly to the Nashville area, whatever you got to do, trains, planes, automobiles, whatever. Get here. And we're calling it, What Is That in Your Hands? We're going to talk about how to take what God has given you and to give it out. And as in all of our gatherings, our foundation is teach, meet, eat, pray. And we'll be doing all 4 things as we gather together and have just a great time of fellowship. Todd, these have been phenomenal times, haven't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very, very good times. It's interesting because we'll get, the same crowd, and then we get new people that come in. And I think I don't know what they're expecting necessarily, but when they're getting ready to leave, it's amazing to hear the comments about what their experience was at the event. It's like, and it's fun to listen to.
I love that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really a family. Really a family, which is awesome.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
So we meet on Saturday. We have a great time of fellowship and a meal. We're doing tacos. We're doing a taco bar this time, which will be kind of fun. And we're doing a taco bar this time. Of course, Jim and the Sanctuary Worship Band will be there. And we've got I'll be doing some teaching and and I love the opportunity just to hang out with the body of Christ. A lot of old sanctuarians there as well.
Yeah.
So, and new ones. We love that part too. People of varying ages. Not everybody's old like us. There are some youngsters there too.
Did you ever think you'd be saying that? I don't feel old.
I've known Todd since he was 17, Todd, something
17,
like that. Yeah.
Yep.
We've been good friends for a long time, and that's been awesome. Well, Todd, we've got some exciting days ahead, and we want to talk about where we're going with Sanctuary a little bit. And I don't have a whole lot of notes for today. I'd just like for us to speak from our hearts and to basically talk about, our vision, our purpose, and then how does everything fall in line with that? Todd, if you could capsulize the vision and the purpose of Sanctuary right now, what would you say in a nutshell?
I don't know that it fits in a nutshell. No, Sanctuary, I've talked about this before, but Sanctuary, I think the name Sanctuary is something that was ordained a long time ago for a time like now. And when I look at Sanctuary, it is so needed and so necessary in today's times to reach not just our metal crowd, but the crowd that are coming, the up and comers, the young guys, the young people that really, may not have had an opportunity to see where they're going to be, where they're going to go, what their life looks like in their future, what it looks like walking with God in their future. And I think that Sanctuary, what it was and what it's going into, is an exciting time, because when I look at it, it's, and you've said this before too, Bob, we've done Sanctuary, but now we know what we're doing. Or at least we have a better idea of knowing what we're doing. Because so many times before it was like, well, let's try this. But now we have a better grasp. And I think that God is giving us a vision that you're starting off with in a few days, what's in your hands. I think that cultivates the giftings that God has given us and the opportunity to use those giftings going forward, not just to benefit the body of Christ, but to reach the lost. I think that's really, really important. So
absolutely. And Todd, you realize that this year, 2024, Sanctuary is 39 years old. 39 years old, excuse me.
I was going to say, I must have gotten younger.
We lost 10 years. No, but we're 39 years old, almost 4 decades now. And so from our small beginnings, and you remember the first day we ever had Sanctuary, you were there.
Yep.
From the very first day until now, we are now in 22 countries. We've worked with countless festivals around the world and helped them get started. There's so many things that we've been involved with in the music industry and promoting bands and the becoming basically a discipleship and mentoring arm of the church, especially to the metal crowd. And man, it's been awesome. But as you said, we know a little more than what we did before, and we're a little older and wiser. Todd, one of the great things too is that most of the people on our staff have been with us for decades as well. And not that everybody is old. We've got some younger ones too, but we also have some experience here. We've done everything wrong at least once, and now we're kind of,
Yeah, we have.
So Amber,
at least once.
I ordered a couple things for Christmas and wanted to. Oh, I just lost that one. But she said she wanted to order some coffee. And how does she do it? If you go to our merch site, You can order the coffee right from there. Anchor Distributing is our merchandiser, and you can order it from there. We actually send it from here. They send all the rest of our stuff, our shirts and our coffee mugs and our posters and everything else from there. And we send out our coffee and our books when we have a book. So there it is right there. Or you can just go to wearemetalwearefamily.com or wherever you'd like to go, and you'll find us there. So, Todd, people can also sign up um, to donate to the ministry through wearemetalwearefamily.com or right here through our giving page. And I'd like to encourage people to this year think about doing a monthly donation if you're not, because this helps us to continue to make some roads into our metal community, to disciple more people, to reach more people that are marginalized, not just here but all over the world, and to really deal with the health, the well-being of the metal community, and that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say, Bob, is I just had our graphics on the back of the coffee bag redesigned to add a reorder QR code on there. So when you get your coffee, the newest coffee bags will have a QR code on the back that you can just go on there and reorder. It'll go right to all the coffee mix and whatever one you want to get. So it goes right to that page. Yeah,
Good.
Makes it real easy. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely does.
Yep.
Well, Todd, we have Immortal Fest coming up very soon.
Yes.
Immortal Fest 1 and Immortal Fest 2. And once again, it's a great thing for the summer. It's a nostalgic time, mostly the older bands for the older crowd. And there's the first one will be involved with both of them. I'll be actually hosting both of them. But this one in particular, Todd, we're going to be doing Sunday. Sanctuary Day is Sunday. And we will be on the stage with, I have a message to bring. Our worship band will be there with a whole lot of special guests from people that you will recognize and a lot of surprises. And so the Immortal Fest is a must for everyone. I'm hoping that possibly even next week we'll have Steve here with us, who is the promoter and the guy whose brainchild is Immortal Fest. And I want him to talk a little more about the vision and all of that. But you know, it's an awesome thing, Todd, to be able to speak to all of those people, all the metalheads, and to challenge them for the future. And so we're hoping that people are able to join us, and we're hoping that they stay over until Sunday morning. We'll probably be going from, I imagine, around 9:30 to around noon, and we've got some good things planned for that day. Let's put that slide up there one more time, John. And if you'd like to be involved with the Immortal Fest, and by involved, I mean if you'd like to see what's going on with all of this, I think John can, well, you can go right here to the, what does it say? The BMIEventCenter.com. There you go. BMIEventCenter.com. And that's where you can get tickets, get them early. You'll save some money. And so many great bands for not just this one, but for all of them. And there's 2 events. Each one is 3 days long: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sanctuary Day is on the first one, and we have all day Sunday. But the second one, there are 3 days of bands, and I'll be hosting that one as well. And Sanctuary will have a presence there too. So we're excited for you to come and to be part of that. Todd, we got some other things to talk about for this year. And Gary is asking, our good friend Gary, by the way, is asking for the update with my book coming out. And I guess my question would be, which book? We've got several things that are on the roster right now. Todd, the first one out is Seriously. Do you want to talk about that for a minute? You're kind of handling that project.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's this is a great book. It's already been out in its original form. It's being revamped and it's almost completed. I'm finishing up a few things on there. Um, I mean, I should be able to have that done probably by Monday, and we'll turn that in and have. Then you've got to have somebody reread over everything, make sure it's all in line and in place and all that good stuff. Yes, exactly. Because I'm not your proofreader. I'm not that guy. That's not my gifting.
Yes,
um, but I've read this book over and over and over and over again because you've given me the honor and the opportunity to make footnotes in there to add some gleaning questions and some verses and scripture in there. So I appreciate that, Bob, Pastor Bob, and letting me do that. But so I've read it a number of times, each page a number of times, because when I did that, I had to read the page over and over, get what it's saying, and then find scripture that would support what it's moving towards, the thought process of what it's moving towards. And this book is really your book telling your younger self what to watch for, what you would have done, or what to be careful of, and that kind of thing. And it is a fantastic book. I call it really more of the flavor of Sanctuary. If I could put a keynote on it, to be like the flavor of what Sanctuary was when it started and continues to be. That's
great.
how I see this book. It's such a great book. It's fantastic, and it will reach and touch so many people.
Good. I'm so glad. And Todd, it's a little bit of a Pilgrim's Progress meets Screw Tape Letters.
Yeah,
It's progressive, and and of course, it's my letters to myself at 21. What would I say to myself? But it's also a series of letters. I would say this and this and this. And
yeah,
what
yeah.
we've done, Todd, is we've taken each one of those thoughts. There it is. We've taken each one of those thoughts, and we've turned each one of them into a daily journal. And what Todd is talking about, he's added some scripture, some food for thought, all of that at the end of every thought. And it's something you can go through, and it'll take you a little while. And there's room to write out your own thoughts, but it's the journal, and it'll be a little bit updated from this picture. That's the older one, but that'll be coming out. Also, this is the year that Metal Dude will be coming out, the coffee table book. And so excited to have been working with Hayden as our resident graphics guy. And he's so much more than that. He comes up with so many of the ideas that we run forward with. But he's we've got all of our Metal Dude graphics, and I don't think we call them comics, graphic art, whatever you call it, but it's a whole book of just the Metal Dude that we have. And then, of course, at some point, when I get it done, my new book called Teach Me to Eat, Pray will be out. And it's a manual for koinonia, for the church. What is the foundation for church that makes the church go? Todd, what are the things for the future?
Well, we've got some great stuff in front of us, Pastor Bob. I mean, there's so many things that are cultivating right now. Might be a little bit early to share some of those, just because if I talk about it now, you're going to be waiting 6-8 months, and that doesn't really help that timeline out. But there are some things that are coming up in the next couple of months that are going to be very exciting, and I think that we open that door up probably closer to February, right around that timeline, because then that'll correlate with Immortal Fest as well. So
yeah, and I think
things there.
Great. So Adam Cook has joined us. Adam says, "Can't wait for the book." I appreciate that, Adam.
Yeah,
Adam is the singer for A Hill to Die Upon, one of my favorite bands, and one of my favorite guys.
Yes.
He's a cool guy, a very good friend of Sanctuary. I actually married him and his wife. And he married someone from our staff in Sanctuary in Denmark. So
yeah, awesome couple. Great couple. Yeah.
He's stuck with us. We're family.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. It's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Well, Todd, our focus this year is to take back the ground that Satan has stolen from us.
Yeah.
And that's a very broad statement, and I realize it's a bold statement. But folks, I just want to say, and we've got just a few minutes before we're done here today, but I want to say that I'm not happy with the health of the Christian metal movement right now. Being honest with you, this is from my heart. I don't feel like it's grounded in the word the way it needs to be. I don't feel like the doctrine is as solid as it needs to be. I don't feel like people are being as selfless as they need to be. There's a lot of agenda, there's a lot of self-promotion, and we're really lacking a heart for ministry and a heart for people in the movement. And we need to take this from just another movement to a family once again. We are metal, we are family. And folks, that's our focus for the year, to take it back. Um, we have a lot of exciting things happening all over the world right now. The festival that we started with that basically spawned all the rest of the festivals around the world was Bob Fest. And Bob Fest in Sweden. We'll be doing that again this year in March. Very excited about that. And we haven't done Bob Fest. The last one was 2005. And then we kind of figured that all these other festivals were starting in all these other countries, and that would be good. But now we're excited to get some of these old bands like Mini Domain back together, other bands like Narnia and others, Pontefrater, others that'll join us to celebrate with us. And we're excited for that festival and many others. So, folks, it's an opportunity this year to take back what Satan is trying to steal, to get refocused, rededicated, if I can say, to the spiritual health of the movement, and to continue to boldly go where no church has gone before. Can we say that, Todd? Or is that a little bit outdated? Boldly go where no church has gone before. How many times have we said that?
I can't count how many times we said that, but no, I think it's still as fresh today as it was then. So let's do it.
Todd, speak your heart for this year.
Well, we've got some great things coming up, and some of the things that are coming up are the things that are addressing what you just talked about, taking back that ground, but it's taking it back in such a way that people are being discipled, people are being encouraged, their walk being made stronger. I think that is so important. I did a podcast the other day, and I think it was almost more for me than anybody else, to be honest with you. But the essence of it is, focusing on your relationship, your walk with God, and not being distracted. We're so easily distracted left and right. And I feel like if we just focus on our walk with God, doing what He's called us to do, walking in the giftings that He's given us, everything else will fall into place. It just works together like that. And I think that as we do that going forward with Sanctuary, I think that will permeate throughout the family. And I think that's how we take the ground back. I think we take it back by one-on-one, by ministering, by learning, by growing, and by encouraging each other in our walk. And I think this next year could be a challenging year for the country, but it doesn't have to be a challenging year for the church. And I think it's the way in which we navigate our walk with the Lord that is going to be the essence of what that looks like.
Yes.
So that's where my heart is for this next year, is really to help people get grounded, and to continue their focus on their walk and in their giftings. So, yeah.
Excellent. And I think that is absolutely the foundation. Well, folks, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Todd did an excellent podcast. If you haven't watched it yet, it's very good, about New Year's resolutions and being resolute in your resolutions. And I'm spending the whole week talking about New Year's goals and our focus. The next couple of days, I have some really important things from my heart to share with you there. So don't miss that. We've got our So What with Chris and with Don coming up on the weekend, and some new things we'll be adding soon on our podcasting roster that I'm very excited about. And Todd, you have a little different podcast coming up too. And we won't tell them yet what it's about to be, but it'll be very different than anything we've ever done. And I'm excited for that too. So, it's an awesome opportunity to move forward, to do what God has asked us to do, and to take back some of the ground that I think Satan intended us not to have, but we're not going to settle there. And so we continue to boldly go, and 2024 will be a great year. Todd, thank you for being on with me today.
Thank you for bringing me. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
And folks, every Wednesday we will be live. You can schedule it 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Every single Wednesday we will be here, and with band interviews, with talk from the heart, and usually a special co-host, and Todd will be here with us often. And I hope you can get to know some other folks on our staff as well. And we've got some great things to share with you live, and we want to hear from you. So join us, and we can make that possible. So, folks, bless you. Don't forget, you are blessed. So what, Todd?
Go and be a blessing.
There you go.